Hi, my name is Akankshya Upadhyay and I am your English instructor. In today's class, we will solve the exercise portion of Unit 6, which is expressing condition. Let's begin. We shall begin our class by reading a beautiful poem by John Wayman. The poem is about classroom and education and it focuses on students' and teachers' point of view. Let's begin. Nothing. When we realized you weren't here, we sat with our hands folded on our desks in silence for the full 2 hours. Everything. I gave an exam worth 40% of the grade for this term and assigned some reading due today, on which I'm about to hand out a quiz worth 50%. Nothing. None of the content of this course has value or meaning. Take as many days off as you like. Any activities we undertake as a class, I assure you will not matter, either to you or me, and are without purpose. Everything. A few minutes after we began last time, a shaft of light suddenly descended and an angel or other heavenly being appeared and revealed to us what each woman or man must do to attain divine wisdom in this life and the hereafter. This is the last time the class will meet before we disperse to bring the good news to all people on earth. Nothing. When you are not present, how could something significant occur? Everything contained in the classroom, everything contained in this classroom is a microcosm of human existence, assembled for you to query and examine and ponder. This is not the only place such an opportunity has been gathered, but it was one place and you weren't here. This poem beautifully explains about what teachers feel and what students feel about classroom. Now the exercise is pretty interesting. Now first in our vocabulary section we have matched the words. So we need to match words under column A with their meanings. So we have 4 words: assign, descend, reveal, and assemble. And the meanings of the words are given on the right hand side. So first we will search the meaning of assign. To make something known to somebody. Now this does not mean to assign. A teacher assigns task. That means a teacher is giving you a task. So to bring people ideas or things together as a group does not mean to assign as well. But to provide a person a particular task means to assign. So I assigned you a job of bringing a pen from the supermarket. Now this means I assigned you a particular task and that's bringing a pen from the supermarket. So assign means to provide a person a particular task. Next we have descend. So descending means going downwards. Now right after the meaning of assign we have to come or go down from a higher to a lower level. So the meaning of descend is to come or go down from a higher to a lower level. Now to reveal means he revealed the truth. That means he said the truth. So now reveal means to make something known to somebody. So we match it. And finally assemble. So we have morning assembly in our schools, right? So assemble means to bring people, ideas, or thought together as a group. So in this way, we're done with our first exercise. Next, we need to state whether the sentences are true or false. So the first statement is, classroom teaching provides students with knowledge helpful for exam. So this is true because our teachers always teach us so that we bring good marks in exam and also get some values and meaning to life. So this is true. Next, we have the course students study is insignificant and valueless. This is false. Because anything you learn, especially the course, it can never be valueless. Third, we have any information you miss in the classroom is important. Of course, this is true because in classroom, we have important things to talk about. And whatever information we get in classroom is important. Enlightenment is gained in the classroom, so this is true. Because in class, we get education, and with education, we are enlightened. And finally, staying in class is boring. Now, this can be an ambiguous statement. So, the poem we have In the poem, we have both student's perspective and teacher's perspective. So from student's perspective, staying in class is boring. So in the question, we have read the poem and say whether the following statements present in the importance of classroom teaching is true or not. So from teacher's point of view, staying in class is not boring, but from student's point of view, according to the poem, it is boring, so we still say it's true. Next, we have to answer the questions. Who composed the poem? So we have the answer in our poem, and towards the end, in the right-hand side, we have the name of the poet. It's Tom Wayman. We have pretty simple questions. What did the students do in the absence of their teacher? Now, this is in the first paragraph of our poem, the first stanza, where we read, the students write that when we realized you weren't here, we sat with our hands folded on our desks in silence for the full 2 hours. We read, the students write that when we realized you weren't here, we sat with our hands folded on our desks in silence for the full 2 hours. Next we have, what did the angel reveal to the students? The answer is in the fourth stanza where we can read, a few minutes after we began last time, a shaft of light suddenly descended and an angel or other heavenly being appeared and revealed to us what each woman or man must do to attain divine wisdom in this life and the hereafter. So the angel revealed what each man or woman must do in order to attain divine wisdom. Why does the speaker in the second stanza think being in the class is important? Now we need to read the second stanza, and this stanza is from teacher's point of view. Everything. I gave an exam worth 40% of the grade for this term and assigned some reading due today on which I'm about to hand out a quiz worth 50%. So in the second stanza, the speaker thinks being in class is important because the teacher has given an exam worth 40% of grade and has assigned some reading due today on which the person is going to hand a quiz worth 50%. So the speaker in the second stanza thinks being in class is important because the person has given an exam and assigned some reading. What does the speaker say in the third stanza regarding the value of education? In the third stanza, we have a student's point of view, where a student says none of the content of this course has value or meaning. So regarding education, the person says it's valueless or meaningless, and that any activity that we undertake in our classroom will not matter because it's purposeless. The speaker in the third stanza says the value of education is not much and is meaningless. In addition, the speaker mentions that any activity we undertake in classroom won't matter as it has no purpose. The final question for today in our question and answer is, what does the last stanza suggest? Now in the last stanza we have, but it was one place and you weren't here, so we just have 2 lines. And this means you could have got so many information and you could have enlightened with education just by being in one place, that's classroom. But students didn't come to the classroom, so you didn't get anything. So we will try to rephrase this meaning. The last stanza suggests that students can be enlightened by getting education in class, but if they are not present in classroom, they won't understand the value as they will lose the opportunity to query and examine things. Next, we will fill in the blanks with appropriate words and then eventually summarize the poem. So the paragraph is about the summary of the poem, and we need to assign words that's given in the topmost part of our page, and we need to fill in the blanks. And as we fill in the blanks with the words, we shall cut it down so that it becomes easier to select for another blank. So let's begin. The words nothing and everything represents the blank and teacher's point of view. So this means in our poem we had nothing and everything. So everything represents teacher's point of view while nothing represents the student's point of view. So we write student's point of view. Stanza 1 reveals the fact that the teacher is blank in the classroom. So in stanza 1, we read that teacher was absent and students were folding their hands and sitting on their desks. So we shall write missing in our second blank. So stanza 1 reveals the fact that teacher is missing in the classroom. In the teacher's absence, students simply sit in blank. So the students were sitting in silence. So we have the word serially till now. Stanza 2 tells how a teacher has given heavy exams, assigned readings. Now again we have this in serial order. So assigned readings and prepare quiz. In stanza 3, a typical student blames. Now we have all the words given in serial manner in our book. So in stanza 3, a typical student blames the classroom education is valueless, meaningless, and a waste of time. Stanza 4 claims that through education, a person is enlightened. So we cut it up, we cut it down. The 6th stanza explains the significance of classroom. And finally, the last 2 lines say students must be present in class to learn microcosm of human existence. So this is a very simple exercise. We just completed it. And with this, we've come to the end of this class. The homework for you is to interpret the poem in 10 sentences. Now you can summarize each stanza of the poem and do this job. So this is all for today's class. If you have any questions, any suggestions, or anything that you wish to share with us, please feel free to write to us at learning@deerwalk.edu.np. Thanks for watching.